In the forgotten town of Blackwood, there was a sinister tale that had been whispered from one generation to the next, a story that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls, the legend of the Mannequin maker's curse. On the outskirts of Blackwood, tucked away in the heart of a dense, ancient forest, lived a reclusive man named Silas Wainwright. He was a master craftsman, renowned for his lifelike mannequins that graced storefronts across the country. His work was so breathtakingly realistic that his mannequins seemed almost alive. However, Silas had a dark secret. The mannequins were not just inanimate figures. They contained the souls of those he had wronged in his pursuit of perfection. He believed that by trapping their souls within his creations, he could achieve immortality. This was the mannequin maker's curse, and it was a curse that would haunt Blackwood for generations. The townspeople knew better than to speak ill of Silas, for they feared that their own souls might be claimed by his curse art. But curiosity and greed have a way of luring even the most cautious souls. A group of daring young friends, led by a girl named Lydia, decided to break into Silas's secluded home one moonless night. With flashlights in hand, they crept through the woods until they reached the crumbling, moss-covered cottage. The air grew frigid as they approached the door, and a sense of foreboding clung to them like a shroud. They had heard the legends, but they couldn't resist the temptation to see the infamous mannequins for themselves. The house was filled with a ghastly assortment of mannequins, each one eerily lifelike, their glass eyes seeming to follow the intruders. Lydia, a mixture of terror and fascination, stepped closer to one of the mannequins and reached out to touch it. As her fingers brushed the cold, smooth surface, the room grew eerily silent. Suddenly, the mannequin's eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light. It spoke, its voice a chilling whisper that echoed through the cottage. "You shouldn't have come here." Lydia's friends screamed, and the room came to life with the sound of mannequin voices. Each one bore a grudge, each one a soul trapped by Silas's malevolent magic. They had waited for this moment, the chance to exact revenge on those who dared to enter their prison. The mannequins moved, their limbs creaking as they came to life, their movements grotesque and unnatural. With a malevolent grace, they reached for the intruders. Lydia and her friends bolted toward the door, their hearts pounding in their chests, their breath catching in their throats. The chase through the cottage was a nightmarish ordeal. The mannequins' lifeless eyes bore into the fleeing intruders, and their hands reached out with a chilling determination. One by one, Lydia's friends were captured, their souls seemingly absorbed into the cursed mannequins. Lydia, the last one standing, burst through the door and into the moonless night. The forest seemed transformed, as though it had become a living, breathing entity. The trees whispered in eerie voices, guiding her away from the cottage and deeper into the darkness. She knew that the curse was now chasing her, the malevolent mannequins desperate to claim her soul as well. As she ran, her flashlight flickered and died, leaving her in absolute darkness. The only sound she heard was the relentless pursuit of the mannequins, their whispering voices growing louder, their cold fingers nearly grazing her back. With her heart pounding in her chest, Lydia stumbled upon an ancient, rotting tree, its hollow core illuminated by a ghostly, ethereal light. Desperation forced her inside, and she prayed for sanctuary. As she crouched within the hollow tree, the mannequins surrounded her, their voices growing louder, their hands reaching inside, their fingers grazing her skin. They whispered their grievances, their hatred, their desire to claim her soul and add it to their curse collection. But Lydia clung to her humanity. She fought back the despair and fear threatening to consume her, whispering a forgotten incantation she had read about in one of her grandmother's books. The mannequins recoiled in pain, their forms flickering as if assaulted by an unseen force. The curse that had bound their souls to the mannequins was broken, and with a chilling wail, they dissolved into shadows that were swallowed by the night. The voices that had tormented Lydia and her friends faded into the distance. Lydia emerged from the hollow tree, her friends gone, their souls free from the curse mannequins. She knew that the legends of the mannequin maker's curse would persist in Blackwood, a chilling reminder of the price one paid for meddling with dark magic. But Lydia would forever carry the memory of that night, a haunting experience that had left her forever changed, with the knowledge that some secrets were never meant to be unearthed, and some curses were best left undisturbed.